Hello guys, let's talk about something that many artists experience regularly, which is art block and self-doubt. I feel like these two things go hand in hand with each other, and lately I've noticed that I've been feeling kind of stressed about my art. I've been second guessing what I create, wondering if this is truly my art and what my art should look like, and I feel like I don't have a clear and defined artistic voice yet. I wonder if what I make adheres to this idea of my voice that I have in my head, and I think that's the first problem. I find that when I'm trying to make my art fit this mold of what I think it should look like, I get frustrated and stuck. My work ends up looking stiff, but when I let go and do not put so much pressure on myself in what I do, I feel more free to explore what I like and discover more of my visual language. I think that art block comes up when artists put too much stress over what they create and upholding the certain standards that we've set for ourselves. This is not to say that we shouldn't want to create good things, but taking the weight off of our chest to allow for carefree exploration, I think, is really important. This is why I've chosen to do an acrylic painting. All throughout high school, I used acrylic paint, and the work I made in high school honestly makes me kind of nauseous because when I look at it, I'm not really proud of it, and it's really dissonant to the kind of visual language that appeals to me. So then, why did I make this kind of work? I think that I was defaulting to the certain style that I thought would appeal to others and the certain way of painting that I thought that I had to paint like. Like, you know when you do a doodle on some crappy piece of paper like homework assignment and it turns out amazing, and then you sit down to do either assigned classwork or a commission, or you sit down to do a drawing or painting in this really nice sketchbook you bought and then it ends up looking like poop? This is because we hold these stress and fears of not making something that upholds to our standards. We begin to compare our work to others. Or at least I do. I enjoy watching sketchbook flip-throughs on YouTube because they inspire me, but they also hinder me. It diminishes my self-confidence because I know that my sketchbooks are not this clean and not this perfect. They're messy and have lots of little crappy sketches or writing in them. So how do we beat this fear, this art block? I think by just simply creating. By saying that the work we make does not have to be perfect, and it might look like garbage, but that's okay. I think this is one of the biggest lessons that I've learned in art school thus far. The many ways of working and not limiting ourselves to one way of making. My foundation year at the Art Institute has pushed students outside of their comfort zones into different ways of thinking about creating. And I've noticed that when I try to overthink a work, I'm often disappointed. But when I do enough planning to get started and then let the process take over, it allows room for growth and discovery. For example, one night my second semester, I had these dolls that I had to make, and these outfits to go with them. The project was due the next day, and I had only made one outfit, and this project required a lot of hand sewing. I spent 9 hours in the studio that day from 3 p.m. to 1 a.m. working. I had no time to second guess myself or to doubt myself, and that project became one of my favorite things I made this year. With this painting, I wanted to let go of my second guessing and what I think the painting process should look like, because even though there are lots of good useful tips out there, there's no formula to what painting should look like. And that's the beauty of it. People say things like, never use black, or begin a painting with tonal ranges, paint from light to dark, etc., etc. And all of these things are really great tips, but in the end, it's you, the artist, that decides what you want your process to look like. I worked on a self-portrait previous to this one that I tried to record, but I fell into the same old habits of self-doubt and worrying and telling myself that I didn't know how to paint skin tone or paint like this person or that person. I ended up deleting the footage and restarting. And with the second painting, I did just enough planning of my color palette to get started, and then I just started to go with it. And I actually ended up really liking the painting process and what this painting looked like. So if you're having art block, my assignment to you is to sit down right now and just draw something. Plop some color down, make some random shapes, and just let the flow take over, and don't judge yourself. As my art professor said, an artist cannot create and critique at the same time. These should be two separate processes. Thank you guys for watching me paint and reflecting with me, if you will, and I will see you in the next video.